week 7 at Quarter Mile Lane. Um, it was an interesting week. Um, we were supposed to find out about the IEP process, and after speaking with our teacher, she basically said that with what she knows, which she's a long-term sub, so with what she knows, it's like a long process, and it's not always like the most accurate process. And she said that there's like, um, you have to get copies of tests, contact logs, nurse screenings, samples of work. There's an action plan for what the teacher's always tried, what she would want to try, and then a special, record cards, and all these other things. Obviously, speaking with the parents, see what they've noticed, see what they've said. Um, trying to figure out if they're noticing any differences with the student, and just trying to figure out where they can go from there. And basically for our, especially kindergarten, how low they are, it's not like something where they can figure out exactly what's wrong with the student or what's going on with the student until they progress through the grades. So there's really nothing they could do in kindergarten unless there's a huge difference between the students. Obviously, ESL students are going to get that help, but if they need more help, they're going to be the first to be noticed that they need more help because of this. Multiple teachers actually told me that for any school, really hold your breath until third grade, meaning that they don't really do IEPs often until grade 3 because they're not sure if it's actually a developmental delay that they need to be working with. So teachers kind of have to go along the process of, saving their own butt, doing what they have to do in order to get the IEP done, and even just doing whatever they can do to accommodate the student's needs, to help the student grow as a person and learn. And so that's what I learned about the IEP process according to that, but I know other people are different, especially if they are diagnosed. But for the most part, if it's not something that is diagnosed, as in like ADHD, or ADHD, I'm sorry, and autism and all those others, they're not really given an IEP until later in life, unfortunately. So basically whatever the teacher can do, and if he or she has to go, speak to other teachers in their grade, or even if they're in older grades, and they could speak to the other teachers they had to see what worked for them, what they can try to help the student, they will do. Obviously, keeping in contact with the parents is a huge thing. It's just something that they really need to keep in mind as a teacher, that, it's not always going to be easy, and you always have to, help each other out basically and see what can work for you. And obviously parents are a big help, especially if they're noticing something at home that you're not noticing at school, and vice versa for the parents and teachers. But as for the rest of the school day, I was able to complete lesson 3 with my student. I was able to, go over more letter sounds with her. What I did for my lesson is I had magnetic letters, and I would put them out on the table, and she would pick a letter based on the sound that I had. So, for instance, if I said ah, she would pick out the letter A if she knew it. If not, she would say I don't know, or would, pass up on that. But those are a couple of things I did. Other than that, I also taught my math lesson for our math pedagogy class, and I was able to do a lot of help with the other students in the class as far as literacy. So I think it's going pretty well with my student. I'm not sure if she's really understanding why she's getting special attention, I think she might just think she's getting it because I don't know, I think she just likes the attention, so I don't think she really cares how she gets it. But yeah, so lesson 3 wasn't too bad. She definitely struggled with the sounds. Um, I think the fact that the sounds change is what throws her off. It could be ah or a, or she's not really understanding the different sounds of it. But yeah, until next week.